What's up everyone, welcome back to 85 The Ride. Out at the Hunter Valley today, snagged an absolutely beautiful day for it. Couldn't have asked for better weather. Not too hot, but the sun's shining. Absolutely stoked. So today we're going to do the 6-month review on this bad boy. I can't believe I've already had it for 6 months, but here we are. So first things first, I'll go over the bike for anyone that is new to the channel or hasn't seen my previous review. I think I only had it for a couple of days when I did my last review, so 6 months owning the bike, I feel like I've got to know it pretty damn well by now. We'll quickly go over some of the modifications that have been done, and I really want to add that these modifications were done before I picked up the bike. So everything that is on the bike is done by the dealership. So anyone that wants to ask, you know, where did I get certain parts and things from, everything has been sourced through the dealership. So if you are interested, hit up your local dealership. It might vary if you're from another country, but I'm sure they'll be able to help you out. So we've got the 5-inch mini apes. I absolutely love these bars, giving you that little bit of reach. You can sit up nice and straight, just heaps easier on the back. Comfort seat, this thing is absolutely amazing. I've got the piggyback shocks with it as well, so I couldn't really say what either of the shocks or the seat is like on their own, obviously, as I did pick it up with both of these already on there. But comfort wise, I can't complain about comfort on this bike. But these piggyback shocks, I'd really suggest looking into those. They're really easy. You've got your compression and rebound, top and bottom, really easy to adjust, simple as a little click like that. So I obviously harden it up when I have a passenger on the back. I do have a passenger seat that I throw on here. It's a quick little job, so I just take it back off every time I'm not using it. Nice and easy to put on and take back off. Aftermarket performance exhaust. A lot of people get mixed up and mistake this for a stock exhaust, but it is not. This is a performance enhancing exhaust by Indian. Now I have been told by the dealership that I got this through that it was the last one in Australia, so whether you can still get your hand on this exhaust or not, I don't know. It's also had the airbox changed out to the bigger airbox. I believe it's a stage 3 setup. Had it dyno tuned and it's now putting out about 110 horsepower. So this thing is an absolute rocket now that it's had the dyno tune and everything done to it. Not sure how well the sound will work, but I might start it up, give you guys a bit of a listen. As you can hear, it's still got a bit of volume to it. We got the reduced reach foot pegs, some a bit of a short ass. One thing I have found after riding with my other Scout buddies is these foot pegs stick out a lot more. They have been reduced back, but they also come out further. It's a lot comfier in my opinion. The biggest downside with that is obviously cornering. You're going to hit the ground a lot quicker. So I've scraped the hell out of these. Obviously I'm going to go through them pretty quickly. Lean angle has been reduced that slight bit, but I don't know, comfort wise I'm all for comfort. So the only other thing with these bigger exhausts is that's the first thing to hit next. So I have scraped all the bottom of the exhaust. You can't really see it until you're looking from underneath like I am now, but yeah, the exhaust is the next thing to hit. So I am thinking of changing the exhaust to like a Vance and Hines or something a bit shorter, just to mix it up a bit and have something a little bit louder. I might muck around with it in the future, but we'll see what happens. Aftermarket LED headlight, I mean, it just looks a bit cooler to me. Don't really notice the difference. I don't do too much night riding, so super handy too. We've got the USB port. I did just get a new quad lock case. I'm just waiting for the mount to come in, so I'll be running me quad lock. They come with a little charge port, so I'll be able to charge my phone whilst I'm riding. Also with this color, I mean, you would have seen in a couple of my other videos just how much this color changes depending on whether it's in direct sunlight or behind a cloud. It goes like a much more deeper, darker maroon, but in the sun that's almost gone like a reddy maroony color. It's crazy how much that color changes. I absolutely love the color of this bike. There we go, we've just hit a cloud and you can see the difference in that maroon. It's gone like a deep dark maroon. Now the other thing I did was change the rear guard out to the black, just because I like running black rear guards on all my bikes. Just a little personal touch of mine. So apart from that guys, that's really it. I think we jump on board now and we'll head up the road, and I'll give you a little bit of a rundown on how she rides and go into a little bit more detail on the pros and cons now that I've owned this bike for 6 months. So let's jump on. Righto guys, let's get moving. So yeah, you can sort of see even when I'm sitting here how much further those foot pegs stick out. So our biggest downfall I suppose is turning. But man, she's comfy. Also, lane filtering. You've got to be extra careful. Obviously, she's sitting a bit wider, so don't want to come through and wipe out someone's car or anything. Alright guys, which way are we going to go? Might chuck a right, head back this way. Now we are on public road, so I can't open it up too much, unfortunately. Super responsive bike, eh? Like, this thing just impresses me so much. Every time I go riding with anyone and you do get somewhere where you open it up, man, you just take off. Everyone's always sort of saying, man, is that thing cammed or anything like that? And everyone's blown away at the fact that it's not even cammed or had really much work done to it. I did jump on a buddy's Scout the last ride I went on. Even the power difference just from getting that dyno tune is unreal. Like, it makes a world of difference, eh? Yeah, love the tyres that are on here. I probably won't change the tyres. I was running the Pirelli Night Dragons on my last bike. Again, just the Pirellis are a sticky, awesome tyre, but yeah, I love the aggressive, knobby look of these. Plus, I'm always riding off-road to get photos or footage or whatever, so this thing's still got a lot of lean angle considering. I definitely wouldn't be too hesitant on the bike, thinking that it's too low to the ground or anything like that. I mean, at the end of the day, it is a cruiser. It's a cruiser that's built to be ridden aggressively, though. That's what I love about it. You know, I'm not one that's into sport bikes, obviously. If you really want to lay a bike over, you go get a sports bike, but for a cruiser bike, like power-wise, and like I said, the ability to ride aggressively it's there, so. Again, it's just so easy to throw around, so nimble. These roads out here are absolutely trash. Like, there is just, it's a lot bumpier than what it probably looks on camera, and it just soaks up the bumps so well. I found the braking to be pretty good. Rear brake, not so much. Every time I try to stop quickly, it wants to lock up the rear, and that's not an emergency stop or anything. That's just sort of slowing down last minute for a corner or whatever. I just feel like the brakes could definitely work a lot better, but that front, you know, super responsive. Again, on public road, so I don't want to go speed. Yeah, power-wise, I cannot complain. It's nothing but a huge strength of this bike. Having all that horsepower right here is, yeah, it's unreal. So I've gone on some long distance rides. I mean, long distance for me. Again, if you're new to the channel, I've got a bag back. Rah, rah, rah. I don't go on too many long rides, but comfort-wise, yeah, this thing ticks all the boxes. I mean, if you were going to go like touring and go for like days on end, I don't know, people would be able to handle it obviously, but that's where you start looking into the Indian Chiefs and things like that. Something a bit bigger, something a bit set up for more so your long distance riding. And I mean, fuel-wise, tank's I think a 12.5 litre, I could be wrong, so it's not a massive fuel tank, but you know, she does the job. I'll ride like into town, go to the beach and ride home, and still got a little bit of fuel in the tank. Most of my riding I do, I've nearly used a full tank, but little pro tip, keep a jerry can at home full of fuel, and every time you get back from a ride, just top the bike up. Might rarely go to the servo anymore. Road closed. That's alright. Turn around, might head back back in Cessnock Way and start heading home from there. It's about that time of day. So cons about this bike. Doesn't have a fuel gauge up on the dial here. Why? Why would you not put a fuel gauge up on here? It just pops up on a red light when you're nearly empty. Time to get fuel. Oftentimes out in places like this, there's not a fuel station around every corner, so I don't know. A lot of people come unstuck with that. Something this bike desperately needs is a fuel gauge. Now my second complaint, and probably most biggest complaint about this bike, the clutch. My God, who releases a bike in 2023 with a cable clutch? Where's the hydraulic clutch, guys? Coming from bikes with hydraulic clutches, I cannot stand the clutch on this thing. Yes, I've gotten used to it, I don't stuff up too much, but if you're like into the throttle, I find, and comment below if you have this same problem, or whether it's just me, I don't know. But I find when I'm clicking up, especially aggressively, from first into second, I'll hit neutral, of all things, and just rev the tits off it in neutral, and it's like, again, I don't know if it's just me or not, but It's a pet hate so far with this bike. The clutch is clunky. You're clicking up into gears and it's like a chomp into each gear. It doesn't feel as smooth as what it should. It's not a make or break, absolutely not. You wouldn't not buy the bike because of the clutch, but it's just one of those things where, again, it's a newer bike. Like, chuck a hydraulic clutch on there. I don't know whether there's upgrades, whether they can do it or not, but then you're going to run your own reservoir for it and all this different stuff. So I don't know if there's even, you know, the right mounting points or what's, you know, behind the whole thing. But when I went to sell my Rebel, I jumped back on it. Oh, there we go. There's someone practicing for their L's over there. Good on them. Yeah, so when I sold my Rebel, I jumped back on that, and that had a hydraulic clutch, and that's when I really noticed it. It was like one finger, you could just barely touch the clutch. It'd just fall into gear so nicely. Yeah, anyway, considering they're my two biggest complaints, I mean, at the end of the day, it's really not much to worry about. This thing is an absolutely beautiful machine, dream to ride. I absolutely love it. If you're someone that's looking at converting over into the cruiser world, I always say it, but test ride any bike that you're looking at. Test ride a bunch of bikes, get a feel for it. Look at this. Pulling out in front of you. Man, cannot stand people pulling out in front of me. Happens all the time on bikes. There you go, there's another pet hate. Not about the bike, but that is the biggest worry that I have riding a bike, is people just do not see you. I'll be chucking that in this video because I'm over it. As you can tell, gets me nice and riled up. I just got a huge whiff of KFC. Man, I haven't had Dirty Bird for a good minute. Oh, that smells so good. I think I'm gonna have a little sneaky cheat night tonight and order some Dirty Bird. Yum, yum, yum. That's made me so hungry. Immediately hungry. This bike's great for places like this, tight traffic. Like I said, I cruise in town into Newcastle all the time on this thing. She's liquid cooled, so you don't have to worry about it overheating or anything. I know the Indian Chiefs are air cooled, so again, a bit of a bigger bike that you'd use more so for cruising out on long rides and things like that, where it gets enough air. But no, going through town on something like this is absolutely fine, easy to balance. And again, the center of gravity on this thing is just unreal. Like, it balances itself so well. You don't have to worry about it wanting to lean off in any other different direction or whatever. Not that you're riding around no hands all the time, but just as an example, like in parking lots and things like that, it's so easy just to roll around the place nice and easily. So yeah guys, that's the 6-month review. If you enjoyed it, please like and subscribe. Liking helps out the videos a lot, gets it moving in the algorithm and all the rest of it. Share it if you can, comment. If you're interested in grabbing some merch, we've got the Easter sale on at the moment, so jump on and grab yourself a little something. Everything comes back to support the channel. Keeping in mind we do ship worldwide. But yeah, I hope you've enjoyed the video. Stay safe out there everyone, and I'll catch us in the next one. Cheers.